Bob Dylan. Going through one of the many iterations of a tune he recorded for his 1965 album, Highway 61 Revisited. It takes a lot to laugh. It takes a train to cry. We kick off the show today with Dylan, not itself a surprise, because after some reservation, I did go see that new biopic about the man's early career, A Complete Unknown. And without getting too deep into it, it was all right. It was okay. I had a good time. Some of those reservations I had, I knew about going into it. Others were new ones I came out of it with. But, you know, anything to do with Dylan is going to, shall we say, do interesting things with the story. We started with It Takes a Lot to Laugh because there's a scene in the movie, which is entirely fictitious and not in any way worse for it, where we're led to believe that Dylan comes up with the seed of that song when he shows up late to a taping of Pete Seeger's Rainbow Quest TV show, which really did exist. And Seeger had invited a blues musician named Jesse Moffett, who's actually played by Big Bill Morganfield, the son of Muddy Waters, who jams a little with Dylan once he arrives. But contrast that with the movie's depiction of Dylan's first appearance at the Newport Folk Festival. Dylan himself first played the festival in 1963, but in the movie, we see him dressed as he appeared there in 1964, where he did in fact meet Johnny Cash, as depicted in the film. Now in 64, he was still pre-Electric. He had just recorded his fourth all-acoustic album, Another Side of Bob Dylan. But the movie shows him debuting a, quote, new song, The Times They Are A-Changin', the title track to his third album, which had been out for more than half a year. In fact, the main musical event of that 1964 appearance was the live debut of Mr. Tambourine Man, which is what prompted an open letter by Erwin Silber chiding him for writing too many, quote, inner-directed songs of late. You know, not enough protesty stuff. So this was a minor controversy compared to the next year's Electric appearance with the members of the Butterfield Blues Band, and where one of the songs he played was, in fact, It Takes a Lot to Laugh. But the 64 appearance was certainly less triumphant than his first real appearance in 1963, where he linked hands with the Freedom Singers, We Shall Overcome, all that jazz. I bring it up not to nitpick about the movie Playing with the Truth, again, that's par for the course with Dylan, and it's used to great effect in that Jesse Moffett scene. But like the host of Philosophy Talk asked a few years ago, when they looked at the Dylan Scorsese documentary about the Rolling Thunder Revue in 1975, which also had a bunch of made-up stories and characters inserted along with real footage from that tour. I'm just not sure what the point was here. Combining the spirit of Newport 1963 with the visuals of 1964 doesn't allegorically illuminate anything. It just muddles the record. Or maybe it doesn't, and no one but us obsessives will retain the information. Anyway, what it does do is give us an excuse to play that very first performance of Mr. Tambourine Man, which happens more than half a year before it comes out on record in 1965, and must have been a transcendent experience for at least some of the people in the audience. Or maybe it was just confusing. But hey, that's Dylan.